This is Elon doing his Elon thing, which is exactly what he does. He takes a small bit of possible problem and mistakes and books it out, and then Tim gets a hold of it and decides.
And then it's not just a problem or mistake anymore. Now it's an intentional top-down conspiracy to undermine the white, whatever, and
conflates 3 or 4 different things together so that, possibly you could, and there was a lake, and, it's the same thing that the Loch Ness Monster.
It's the same. My own agency. I don't get my news from Elon Musk.
No, true. Him and Elon both get it from the Kremlin.
That, but it's just, this is an attempt by him. I bet that my guess, I always look for whatever the business grift happens to be. They probably don't much like the Online Safety Act there at Twitter. They probably, that you have in Britain, which has controversies. Believe me, we have the same issue at COSA here in the United States. Lots of things you can debate back and forth over how it should be done, because it's a very difficult issue around kids' online safety. And the fact of the matter is, in the United States, we protect kids offline more than we protect them online, which is really quite something. It's an astonishing situation. We overprotect them offline and underprotect them online. I've just done a series of really important interviews with people at Character AI and how kids are used. I just had the Yonder CEO where you put phones away and the deleterious effects of that. But what's happening with Elon is he has gotten a taste of power, and he says, this seems to work here, and I'm going to create all kinds of business. Now,
Americans attempting to copy paste their talking points onto the UK when it makes no sense whatsoever. Yeah, but bongers do it too. When you saw like Trump as some huge ally when you guys wanted to Brexit or whatever, I think that Brexit and the Trump show are pretty closely aligned, to like joined at the hip for a while. It's happening where like this world culture, these world internet cultures are trying to say everybody's problem is the same problem and everybody's got the same issues and everybody's got.
He's not a British citizen. It's none of his business. It's none of his business, first of all. He wants political power and the ability to turn into, which I said right when he bought Twitter, a modern day Rupert Murdoch is what he's going for. He wants media power.
Except worse than Murdoch, because I think that Elon is more blatant than Murdoch was.
Power and control for his own self-interest and his own financial interest and his own ability to influence things. If you think, it makes me laugh when you think about the idea of, first of all, they all act like victims. Elon's always on some victim thing that someone's out to get.
True. They're always the victim while being in the position of power every single time. The world's richest man is the victim, right? Always. True.
When the world's richest people whine and moan about how they're victims, how they're misunderstood, how they don't have the thing, when they have got the power and the influence and the money to do everything in their own business self-interest.
Where they're the president. How often are we going to hear about the victims of Elon Musk and Donald Trump and his own administration, where he's the most powerful man in the world, the president of the United States, with the richest man in the world? How much are we going to hear how victimized they are?
Something has gone desperately wrong with what we are. We have an idolatry of innovators that has become undeserved for these people. It's all about their money. It's all about their money. Every single thing leads to some financial.
Okay, Dean, you respond, then I'll come to Dave after you.
Here's, first of all, today you call Elon Musk a genius. Yep. Yesterday, I watched this show. You called him a genius numerous times. He's not a genius. Here's you are a genius.
He is a genius.
I say that. It's the first time on the show stepping up to you. I think you're a genius in certain ways. You've had success on different platforms. Elon Musk, my friend, is a cancer to democracy. That's what he is. His goal, and I challenge everyone watching, Google Elon Musk and criticism of China. What you'll find is
Elon Musk being a cancer to democracy is the easiest position in the world to believe. If you're a libertarian or if you're whatever the pool was, like everybody would have agreed with this. All of the people on here, or I can't speak for these actually, but these two would have agreed with that 10 years ago, 100%. Yeah, the richest man in the world who has the ear of the US president, who owns one of the largest news social media companies in the United States and the world. Yeah, of course, that's not good. But
article after article about, well, Elon Musk refuses to criticize the Chinese leadership. Even Steve Bannon, the philosopher king of MAGA, just said Elon Musk's paymaster is China. Vivek Ramaswamy said in 2023 that Elon Musk is a circus monkey. That's his word, a circus monkey for China. You just have Elon Musk block a book put into Democrats and Congress because they had a provision banning investments in China. And Elon Musk wants to build a battery factory and AI storage plant there. Elon Musk's biggest factory outside of the U.S. is in Shanghai. 50% of his cars come from China. This man's all about the money. That's why he goes after Keir Starmer and Nigel Farage.
I would say, Dave, I would say this though. In response to that, I would say you can be all about the money, but you can also come from inherently a good place, right, in your heart. And the reason I say that is I look at what he's. Well, let me just present the argument. I think that what he's done with Starlink, what he's done with Neuralink, what he's done with Tesla, what he's done with all these things, what really is motivating him? Yes, to make.
Well, I mean, it's also all of these things are also very conveniently personally enriching him, and he's the richest man in the world, right?
Money, but also actually to save the planet. You could argue from itself. I mean, I sat with him for a couple of hours in the summer, listening to him talking about why we have to colonize Mars and humanoid robots or something. And of course, part of it is he's going to make himself even richer. He admitted that. But also, I just got a feeling of a guy who genuinely thinks the planet is eating itself alive, and people like him have to save it. Now, you might not agree with it.
No, Piers, there's one thing. Let me tell you, I think that's true. He does have those interests, and I've probably done more interviews with him than anyone else, long form. Not anymore, we don't speak. But one of the things that has occurred to me over the many years is he doesn't want to just save humanity. He thinks he is the savior of humanity.
Yes.
One interview that we did when Tesla was on the ropes and was actually getting money from the federal government, he said, if Tesla doesn't survive, humanity is doomed. And I thought that was unusual and disturbing thing to say.
Well, he said
Because
if Trump didn't win, I think humanity was doomed.
yes, he's very dramatic. He's a bit of a drama queen in many ways.
Yeah.
I think he thinks, and one time we did an interview, he thought we all live in a simulation, which I thought was
Which,
interesting.
by the way, we might. How do you know we don't?
Well, it feels like it every day. It feels like
Cara,
every
you and
single
I have no idea if we're even really here.
Some teenager of the future is fucking all of us. I get it. I get the whole idea. And they're just playing a video game now. Amazon funds Melania's movie. Now this, you can just see them just doing things like this.
All right. I want to bring in Dave because he's been very patient.
I think he thinks he's ready. He's a big video game proponent. He's very good at video games, by the way. That is one thing I think he's quite good at. He is.
Even she bought the video game misinformation. He's never been good at video games. That's not true at any video game ever.
He thinks he's Ready Player One, and the rest of us are NPCs. Is that right? And non-player, whatever the characters. We are all NPCs in the world of Elon Musk in his brain in some fashion. So that's.
He actually said. In fact, let me get the exact wording of this because he posted to me yesterday. Piers' brain hasn't received its software update yet.
Well, my heart is seething with hate, so that's better. That's better, I guess.
Dave Smith, Elon Musk, a force for good or bad or a bit of both?
Well, I'm sure he's a bit of both, like everyone else. I don't look. I try not to get into this like game of psychoanalyzing what people's motives are. I'm sure I'm guilty of it at times too.
Wait. Didn't we just hear in the whole beginning of this him rejecting the idea that the government or Facebook ever made mistakes? Hold on. I'm so sorry. Wait. Hold on. I'm so sorry. We're at 3904. Hold on. I am so sorry. Hold on. Let me do a rewind on this.
Psychoanalyzing.
Or bad or a bit of both?
Well, I'm sure he's a bit of both, like everyone else. I don't look. I try not to get into this like game of psychoanalyzing what people's motives are. I'm sure I'm guilty of it at times too. Look, obviously.
What did he say earlier where he was like, you think that it's just a coincidence that the FBI and all of the what are the words that I'm looking for? It was in this video. It was 30 minutes ago.
Is the claim here that those intelligence officers made a mistake and really?
Here we go. That's so funny. He's not even disagreeing on the facts. He's disagreeing on the psychoanalysis. This is a state of mind disagreement. This is an intentionality state of mind disagreement. Here we go.
Information problem under control. But is the claim here that those intelligence officers made a mistake and really thought this was Russian disinformation?
And then our government, it was
Hunter Biden's laptop?
Our government.
Psychoanalyzing what's, I don't look, I try not to get into this like game of psychoanalyzing what.
Because when it's Elon Musk, we can't possibly psychoanalyze. Remember the game plan. As long as you remember the strategy book, you know what everything is going to be, okay? It's not that Russia's good. It's not that Elon is good. It's not that Trump is good. We don't ever defend them. We don't need to defend them. We just say they're funny and they're epic and they all make mistakes. But when you're asked to criticize them, it's always everybody's bad, okay? I'm not saying they're the best. Yeah, everybody's got issues, though. Everybody's bad. And then refocus on who's really bad, which is the left, the Democrats, the whoever. It's always refocus. Don't defend the side that you're always on, basically, you're giving defense to. Don't ever outwardly defend them. Just say everybody makes mistakes, everybody has these issues, and then America bad.
People's motives are. I'm sure I'm guilty of it at times too. Look, obviously there are conflicts of interests, and there are, Elon Musk is going to have his own incentives, which is true for every rich, powerful, donor. It's the way the American political system is set up, whether or anyone on the panel likes it or not.
Yes.
We weren't choosing between no influential donors or Elon Musk. We were choosing between, George Soros and Miriam Adelson. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. I think that Elon Musk buying Twitter for $44 billion, which certainly it's going to be pretty tough to convince me that was motivated financially. I don't think that was like the best money-making scheme, but
And George Soros's donations to random are the best money-making scheme? Having the ear of the president of the United States wasn't worth the acquisition of Twitter?
I think by buying Twitter,
done very well with it. Done very well.
Yeah.
With it.
Well, okay. You're kind of stuck. Okay. Well, you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place now, because that does seem to make him a genius, which you wanted to deny. But
I tell you, Dave, just on that one point, on the one point about the
He's a
money.
genius investor.
Well, let me tell you why he's a genius. He bought X, then he went all in
Okay, we made it through that without saying anything mean about our side. Okay, all right, let's go.
on Trump. Trump wins, and just by Trump winning, his stake, Musk's stake in Tesla, made him $100 billion, which is more than twice the valuation that he paid for X.
Let me just say,
so that is business genius.
Tesla's car deliveries are down, which is astonishing. It's the
Again,
stock- it's the
that's,
stock
I would
of
say that's a
Elon
form of
Musk.
genius. Dave, finish your point.
Others with
Well, look, I mean, the broader point and the reason why Elon has gained so much like hardcore support over the last couple of years
is authentic Americans. It's because he resonates with Americans. Or, if we don't want to say nice things about Elon, blame the left. Okay? Which direction are we going to go? Blame the left or glaze Elon?
is just, again, it goes back to the stuff that we were talking about at the beginning. He bought Twitter, and promised to make it a free speech platform. Now, by the way, my biggest criticism of him is that he's fallen short of that goal. And there are still people who are censored. There are still people who are kicked off. And I don't think he's done a great job of making the rules very clear and then applying them equally across the board. But there's just no question that for so many of us, this was the big fear over the last 8 years, was that we could be silenced. We wouldn't be allowed to speak up and tell the truth as we see it anymore. And he protected a lot of us, or at least gave us the feeling that we're much more protected than we were back then.
Yeah.
And so that is going to get like people like me and Tim, who are people who were, let's just say, we were saying a lot of the things that put you at risk of being censored.
And also, I would say,
it's not a small thing.
Yeah, no, I want to get into Greenland in a moment, whether it should be invaded, which is, I can't believe I'm saying that. But before we do that, Tim, I mean, it seemed to me when they
look at these disgusting, gross Russian stooges laughing at how hilarious and epic that was. For all of Tim's energy earlier about the grooming rape gangs and this lady being raped and all that, what does he have to say for all of the bodies buried in Mariupol or Bucha, right? Are the two places with the most civilian graves were being found, or the videos of I think it was Assad soldiers that were shooting people, leading into a ditch and shooting them, and all the other shit came out that has come out over, was it Bucha, not Bucha? Where's Tim's energy for any of those people? Oh, he didn't have any. You just said Ukraine is the enemy of America or whatever. I don't even want to find this.
I believe I'm saying that. But before we do that, Tim, I mean, it seemed to me when they banned Trump from social media, but they still allowed the Ayatollah of Iran and Putin and the head of the Taliban to have accounts. Right there was the absurd double standard of what they were doing.
But Elon does that too. Elon does that
no,
too.
I'm not saying he doesn't do that to a degree.
He forces you to watch him.
Yeah, listen, I'm not saying by any means he's without blemish.
Pretending he doesn't use it.
No, but nor should we, nor should we pretend that the liberals, when they were in charge of the trade set, weren't doing ridiculous things.
I'm saying the le roi c'est moi. He does whatever he feels like. And by the way, he should. He owns it.
Yeah.
But let's not pretend he doesn't. When he's in India, he does a different thing than when he's in Venezuela.
I agree. And
yes, but there's a difference in scale and kind between that.
Because it's him.
Well, hold on. Well, let me finish the sentence. Instead of just cutting me off, that's obviously not what I'm saying, and I'm not friends with Elon Musk. I've never met the guy. I'm not like saying anything. There is a difference between the fact that, yes.
What's he going to say? There's a difference between the fact that Elon might make mistakes sometimes, but the last evil shit came from our government, maybe?
So you're right. It's not a perfect free speech zone. I just made that same criticism of him. But there's a difference between that and what was done through the COVID years, where people were straight up. I mean, people were censored for telling the truth. They were censored for telling the truth about enormous changes in society.
Under who, by the way? Who was that again? Who was the president for that again? I keep forgetting. We never say his name. It's very weird.
True. I'm afraid the censorship that was going on was completely outrageous.
But it's a private platform. This is
Who was president? Who was president? One of these two. Please bring it up. Who was president? Who's president?
I'm like,
who's administration?
This is regime. A government entity. It is.
It is a private platform.
Very involved.
That doesn't mean
government. What part of the government? Which government? Whose government?
You're immune to criticism. Tim, we've only got a few minutes left. I do want to get into whether America should be invading Greenland.
The chief counsel of Twitter was having regular meetings with the federal government, being advised on what to remove, and both X, at the time Twitter, and Facebook operated.
That's not what happened. Thank you. God, yes. Just correct. Tim has been handled. She has dog walked him every single time. Little Jakovsky Timothy or whatever the fuck tried to come out here and walk these stupid. She's like, no, Tim, you're actually Tim, we just got your test score back on your IQ test. It just says F for failure. Okay. No, you actually don't know at all what the fuck you're talking about. You just made all of that up. Sorry.
Back doors, which we got to click and we got to actually load up the login screens for how to do this. And we all got the emails from the Eric Berenson
The login screens for the back door and the
lawsuit showing that they were regularly saying, we're flagging this for removal. And everybody knows when the federal government comes to you and says, we're making the suggestion, wink, wink.
Oh, everybody knows. What did he say? Sorry, say that again.
And everybody knows when the federal government comes to you and says, we're making the suggestion, wink, wink, we know it's not. When the federal government comes to you and says, we're making the suggestion, wink, wink, we know it's not.
Okay. So what does he have to say about the about Trump saying things like, all I can say is that if I'm elected president, we will pursue election fraudsters at levels never seen before, and they will be sent to prison for long periods of time. We already know who you are. Don't do it, Zuckerbucks. Be careful. Or Donald Trump's just the president, so he doesn't count as part of the government.
I appreciate that, Destiny.
All right, bye. Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.